What's up, everyone? I somehow got COVID in the middle of the summer. Thanks, Fauci. I appreciate it, man. I just want to say one thing about it if I can. I went in and they were like, do you want this antiviral called Paxlovid? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll be good. I look it up. They are charging people $1,400 for this. How does a lower class family pay for that? I mean, tell me you were legitimately trying to save as many people's lives as you could, but then you're charging $1,400 for a 5-day prescription of some crap. I know people are gonna say, oh, it's capitalism. Dude, it's not. It's tyranny. But it's none of y'all's problem. Let's move on to something that is everyone's problem. That is Kamala Harris. Kamala is the new candidate for the 2024 election for the Democrat Party. Even though we all know it's Michael and Obama who's really running things. What's up, Michael? How you doing? You still giving it good to Obama? Attaboy. But there have been a couple of clips that have came up recently about Kamala and her thoughts on gun control. We're going to run through a couple of them, and then we're going to stop at one that is just one of the most outrageous things I've ever seen. Because if you look at Joe Biden and as bad as he was, and then you look at Kamala, she is a completely different animal. She will straight up try to put an executive order in to where she will just confiscate guns. Listen to some of this.
We who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will finally pass universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban.
Gun violence has terrorized and traumatized so many of our communities in this country. And let us be clear, it does not have to be this way, as our friends in Australia have demonstrated.
You're saying that Australia did a really good job in terms of their gun violence issue to the point where you said we should be like them. Well, why don't we take a look at what Australia did? Australia confiscated 650,000 firearms owned legally by citizens. So they were already legal under all of their BS gun control, but they still seized them. And Kamala's sitting up there foaming at the mouth saying, yeah, wow, Australia, we should be like Australia. No, mate, we shouldn't. We're America for a reason. If we want to be like Australia, we can all get a visa and go over there. Have you figured that out yet? No, sure you haven't. Now, folks, it's obvious that we're living in a realm of tyranny. And I mentioned something in the beginning of the video, how I currently have COVID, and they're charging like $1,400 for a prescription that will end up saving a lot of people, but people just can't afford that. They're trying to do the same thing with this right here. It's called NMN. I've been on it for 5 months. I feel absolutely awesome on it. It helps with age-related weight gain. It helps with cell restoration, helps with cholesterol, and even high blood pressure. Now, what the FDA is trying to do is they're trying to classify this as a drug so they can sit there and do what they did with Paxlovid, charge an exorbitant amount of money for this. So if you haven't tried this, I'm telling you, it's one of the best things that I take. And I asked Black Forest to give you all another awesome deal. Here it is. For the next 48 hours, you buy 2, you get 1 free. There's going to be a link below the video. Go stock up. No telling how much longer this is going to be on the market.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, but I mean, listen, I don't think we lack for great ideas. As I've said many times, we've been having great ideas for decades. The problem is that Congress has not had the courage to act. And that is why, from the beginning, I have said, my agenda includes attempting to get Congress to act, but if they don't within the first 100 days of my administration, I'm going to take executive action. Because what we need is action.
Oh, so you're just straight up coming out and saying it. You're going to come and try to take our guns. What do you think would happen if one day you announced that you signed an executive action to just come and confiscate everybody's guns? What do you think would happen? Do you think people would be like, oh no, well, Camel Toe said it, so we better just hand them over? How many people do you think are gonna do that? How would you even put together a team so large in order to do this? I mean, let's just run through a couple scenarios. One would be where you try to do it in small groups. Maybe film the whole thing to try to scare Americans. You just pick a couple out of a hat, kind of like that airport executive. So you go and do that, get it on video, try to scare Americans. But on a mass level, what would be your plan? Hey guys, if you could just come to your local Walmart and hand in your guns, we'd appreciate it. Who's doing that? What about the more, I don't know, tactical approach? You put together teams, maybe a 10-man team, and you just have them clear neighborhoods out. Do you think the people in that neighborhood don't have each other's phone numbers? Do you think the people in those neighborhoods live and breathe by their Second Amendment? Maybe, maybe not. But I do know that most people nowadays look to themselves for safety. Not 911, not the government, not anybody. If there is a dude actively trying to rob my house, is my first thought gonna be, oh my God, I better call 911. They'll get here in a good 15, 20 minutes. And by that time, I'm gonna be in a pool of my own blood if I don't have a gun. Do you think that's what people think? Or do you think their thought process is, okay, somebody's trying to rob my house, we're about to get into a little gunfight, and I'll hope for the best? I don't know. To me, having a fighting chance is everything in life. But you're trying to remove that from Americans. You're trying to say, well, you know what, you don't deserve it because there's a couple of idiots out there who have tried to shoot people, who have done mass shootings, who have done the lot of it. Or more importantly, you as a prosecutor, an ex-prosecutor, you have put away a ton of people. I imagine a lot of those were gun crimes. Why don't you start with those people? Why don't you start with the people who commit legitimate crimes with a gun? Not an administrative crime, a legitimate crime like robbing an old woman or killing someone in cold blood. Not, oh my God, you live in California, so you have 12 rounds instead of 10. We better arrest you. You know how soft that is? Can you imagine being a provider for a family in California, working an honest job, and saying, you know what? I don't feel comfortable just carrying 10 rounds, so I'm gonna carry 15. Just makes more sense. You get pulled over, they sit there and inspect your mags. No, he's got 15, dude, he must be a criminal, let's get him. It's stupid. Administrative laws are the biggest joke known to mankind. They're not aggressing on people. Is the extra 3 rounds in your mag hurting someone? Putting someone at risk? No. Now, if you take it and dump 15 into a person, yeah, there should be justice involved with that. But that can be anything. It could be a knife, it could be these, it could be 15 million different things, but y'all just want to have this laser focus on one thing. And we all know the reason why, and we get to the last point. It's because you guys don't care about the Constitution. You guys think that you can rip it up. You guys think that you can say, oh, well, I'm Kamala Harris. So, you know what? Something that's been written essentially in stone for hundreds of years, we don't have to follow it. And you know what? We'll make a joke about it even. Listen to this.
Senator Harris, you have said that you would take executive action on guns within your first 100 days, including banning imports of AR-15 assault weapons.
That's right.
President Obama, after Sandy Hook, more than 23 executive actions, and yet here we all are today. In recent days, former Vice President Biden has said about executive orders, some really talented people are seeking the nomination. They said, I'm going to issue an executive order. Biden saying there's no constitutional authority to issue that executive order when they say I'm going to eliminate assault weapons, saying you can't do it by executive order any more than Trump can do things when he says he can do it by executive order. Does the vice president have a point there?
Some things you can, many things you can't.
Let's let the senator answer.
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
Let's be constitutional. We got a
And
constitution.
yes, we can.
Say what you will about Joe Biden, but in this situation, he was trying to bring Kamala back down to earth. Hey, what you were talking about is not allowed in the Constitution. And she's like, oh no, but let's just act like it is. This isn't something to look over. This isn't something that we can just be like, oh no, she's just joking around because she's got this goofy ass laugh and half the time doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. If she gets into office, she will enact the most gun control ever by any president, by any organization ever. It's sickening.